How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Baseball Dynasty Podcast. I'm your host, Keith Demolder, here for episode number 13, lucky number 13 here on the podcast. And wow, 13 episodes already. Appreciate you folks joining us for each and every one. The end of week 3 of the Winterfell League season, ending with, yes, another win for the Bahds. They are now 2-1 on the season. And it feels good because last year we saw us go 0-3 to start the season, and that's not what we wanted. We were panicking, but now we're in a lot better shape. Things unfortunately happening this weekend that were not so ideal. We'll get to that in a moment. But before we do that, we got to start off, as always, with our general MLB thoughts. A pretty wild week in the MLB season. A lot of teams are pretty mid right now. Let's just be honest. I mean, you look at the standings, and we'll get into some of these things a little bit later. But the standings, it's just everyone's fish eat fish kind of town right now. Like the worst team in the league is 6-10. The worst team in the league is 6-10, whereas the best team in the league right now, per the standings, is the LA Dodgers at 11-4. Somehow the San Diego Padres are 10-6. They're among tops in the league right now, record-wise. So, very strange. But looking at, overall, the stats, or actually the rundown, rather, for our general MLB thoughts. Pitchers go Burr. So, cold pitchers this week, as we saw last week. The hitters were cold. Now they're starting to heat up. But the pitchers, who did amazing week 1, week 2, are now looking like absolute doo-doo. Bad team, now good team. Talk about that in a sec. The City Connects. Sorry, I moved my head. City Connects we got going on. And then, of course, injuries and Pods talk, as always. So, first we'll start off with the idea of pitchers go Burr. We saw this be the case with a couple really good pitchers. Sandy Alcantara today, just getting absolutely lit up by Detroit. A guy that has started the season on an absolute heater. Cole Reagans, I mean, he had to leave his start, but he's had 3 straight losses, and that's, his second loss was not necessarily even his fault. He had an unearned run allowed, and his team lost 5-1 because they gave a bunch of runs afterwards. So really should have been a no decision, but he got a 16-piece anyway. A great performance by him, but last time out, didn't even go an inning. A negative 10-piece for him. So Cole Reagans, not ideal sort of start to the year. We saw a couple other guys, Framber Valdez, a negative 17-piece for Team Nick, which was very unfortunate. A lot of guys, even Jesus Luzardo, after going for 29 previous start, goes for a -1. Thankfully, Noah's squad had a ton of these guys who are just surprisingly not looking too hot. Logan Webb got lit up. He still ended up with a 3, which, again, is not terrible at all. But a lot of these pitchers, definitely going Burr. On the Bahds especially, unfortunately, we saw Max Scherzer come back to earth. We saw Eric Lauer come back to earth this week. 2 terrible performances by both of them that nearly lost us our matchup. We'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, a lot of pitchers that should be good who did not look good this weekend. Luis Castillo, a -12 against Houston. That was not great. Looking at some of these other names on the list, not that we're expecting a ton from from Tanner Bybee, but a -15 against Atlanta is not what you want. Also, Nick really did get the better of that trade. Zach Gallen, a tough performance as well today. A 2 after getting a 21-piece the other day. And the guy who just continues, this is the opposite side of the spectrum. The guy who is arguably the best fantasy player right now, shout out to Team Tyler, but Jose Soriano right now is on an absolute heater. A 31-piece after going for 34 the start before. This guy has allowed literally 1 earned run all season. He is allowed, let's take a look at his numbers. 27 innings pitched, 9 hits. So that is 1 hit every 3 innings. 1 earned run, 9 walks, 31 Ks. A .6 whip, a 0.33 ERA, Guy is on absolute fire right now. So insane performance by him. Yeah, just kind of some weird up and down sort of. I mean, even Edward Cabrera, a guy went for 26 and 15, then goes for 2 in his next start against Pittsburgh. So just kind of a weird sort of week. Guys not looking super put together that normally should be more put together. Andrew Abbott today at negative 19. Even Nathan Eovaldi, he's bounced back after having -2 and -11. So these kind of flip-flop sort of starts, whether you did bad in the first 2 weeks, then you do amazing week 3, or you did really good first 2 weeks and then do terrible week 3. So doesn't make much sense, but that appears to be the trend. Even Tatsuya Imai, who we'll talk about in a sec, he's hurt right now, but he had a 25 piece on April 4th and then -11. He only got 1 out the other day. So could not find the strike zone. Just a very weird sort of start to the year. Anyway, I digress. But pitcher's a little bit cold right now, a little bit weird in the league. Bad team now good team ? Basically, we're seeing some teams at the top of the league that should not be there. The Minnesota Twins, I'm looking at you. 9 and 7, they're tops of their division right now. They shouldn't be. Their team is awful, but for some reason this weekend they went absolutely ballistic against the Toronto Blue Jays. 9 and 7. The Pirates, 9 and 6. They're top their division, one of the best records in baseball right now. The Guardians, 9 and 7. The D-backs, the Reds. This is just a weird start to the year. And we're seeing teams that should be good are not. And there's been a ton of injuries as well. The Jays are just decimated in terms of their offense. The Astros, their pitching staff, which we thought was going to be a strength, everyone's hurt or playing poorly. So definitely a weird sort of situation within Major League Baseball. Again, we're seeing there's not a ton of differentiation right now. Every team is within a game of each other. And that's obviously going to happen early on in the year. There's not a ton of, the gap will widen as they play more games, but I don't know, something about the start of this season is just, it's very strange. Excuse me. Anyway, so yeah, very weird. Another big thing is that the City Connect uniforms were announced. Let's take a look at these. I like them generally. I think the color rush for the Reds is a little bit too much red. But I think their kind of weird logo is cool. The number is also not bad. Royals, I like a lot. I think the gradient, the bisexual gradient is an interesting thing. But I like the white on white. I think it's solid. I really like that R logo with the crown. I think that's cool. The Wisco jersey is awful. I hate the Wisconsin jersey for the Milwaukee Brewers. I think it's ugly. They do have some cool patches on the sides, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Also, I just want to shout out, if you can see this, the Hinsdale uniform I got on. This is actually my brother's old travel ball team jersey that I wear from time to time. It doesn't even fit me anymore, really. It's because it was like a kid's large back in the day. Anyway, going down the list here, the Texas Rangers, the Tejas jersey, I like. I don't think it's super great, but I like it generally. It does look like a lot of like Mexican League teams. Like they have a very similar jersey to this one, so I'm a fan of it. I think it looks pretty solid. That's just me. Let's see what else. The Atlanta jersey is just so sick. It's always been good, like that powdered blue, and then of course the A logo, the undercase cursive A, I think looks solid as well. The Pirates, Paul Skeens, I think that looks pretty good. I like kind of the jaggedy Pirates font. The cap is good too. I think it's a solid logo. The Be More jerseys, I don't love, and I'm not from Baltimore, but to call it Be More just feels a little bit weird. I think the color's non-offensive. I think the green and cream and orange, I think, is fine. This B logo, though, I'm not a huge fan of. I wish it was a little bit better, but either way. The San Diego jerseys, I do like. I do like the whole Dia de los Muertos kind of symbolism, if you will. I wish they changed the font. Like the font is the same font from from the last City Connect. They can change it. I don't think they need to keep it. But if they changed it to a different font, these would have been sick. I love the colors. The colorway is great. The caps are good. There's this. They had this like Padres logo. It just says Padres, but with bones as like a Dia de los Muertos sort of thing. And I thought those were amazing. I think if they did that, if they put Padres in the bones, I think that'd be a winner. I think that'd be a sick jersey. But anyway, those are the City Connects. Excuse me. But back to general MLB talk. Injuries. Let's just go over them real quick. But it is a laundry list in Major League Baseball right now. For Arizona, a ton of injuries for them. Carlos Santana, abductor, he's on the IL. Jordan Lawler, wrist injury, he's on the 60-day IL. Not ideal for them. Young kid. Waldschmidt, they're talking about maybe bringing him up, but Jose Fernandez, that's a guy that obviously Bouchard got that. He's been kind of a dynamite sort of addition for them offensively. So maybe they'll be okay, but we will see. Anyway, for Baltimore, Adley Rutschman out with an ankle injury. A weird Tyler O'Neill concussion. Apparently he was dehydrated on his day off and hit his head. So, which is a scary thought. You really got to be drinking water and staying hydrated, even when you're not exercising. That's why we always got to keep a glass of water near us at all times. So anyway, very freak accident. It's funny how some athletes get hurt like this, right? Then Zach Eflin, Tommy John surgery. So we're seeing a ton of rotations decimated. We'll get to Houston in a little bit, but yeah, Zach Eflin going down. So next man up, which great for Baltimore. They have a ton of depth, which is huge for them. For Boston, Johan Oviedo, a flexor strain. He's out for a little bit. Justin Slayton, oblique. And then Tristan Casas with his knee, which they're like, he does not look good right now. I would be honestly shocked if Tristan Casas played an MLB game this year. Like, all signs are not pointing to him playing, which is really unfortunate. But appears to be the reality of the matter. For Chicago, our dog Matt Boyd, a biceps injury, which doesn't seem to be a huge deal. It's just kind of like, all right, let's rest him for a little bit, then. He'll have a rehab start, and I think he'll be back. So, not expecting him to be out super long. Cade Horton, though, he's going to be out the rest of the season. UCL injury, skin surgery. We're seeing a ton of UCLs right now. Cross town, Brooks Baldwin, UCL. He's out for the season for Chicago, which does open up some opportunities for them, but a huge loss. For the White Sox. Nick Lodolo dealing with that blister right now for Cincinnati. Gabriel Arias for Cleveland out with a hamstring, which means that Juan Burrito gets the call up, who is now our dog. So presenting a lot of, Angel Martinez might get the start at second base. We'll see, but I like new faces in the Guardians lineup. I think that would be kind of what they need right now, a bit of an offensive spark. Kyle Freeland was supposed to start today for Team Noah. He did not. So a shoulder injury for him for Colorado. Austin Meadows, a concussion. Justin Verlander, a hip injury. For Houston, as we mentioned, Hunter Brown with that shoulder injury, but that's not the worst of it. Christian Javier, he's on the IL. Jake Myers with a back injury. Imai with right arm, like a sore right arm sort of thing. And then Jeremy Pena dealing with some knee stuff. Not sure what will happen there. But Tatsuya Imai, again, Brown and Imai are both out. Christian Javier, he was getting lit up to start the season, but not having him because of injury is not super ideal for Houston. So we're going to see some minor leaguers get called up this week. We'll see. Then for the Angels, Stevenson out for the year with the right elbow. which is great for us in Jordan Romano because he gets less competition. Not that Stevenson was going to, Robert Stevenson was going to even be a guy, but he could throw gas. But fortunately, not this year. For Miami, Griffin Conine, a hamstring injury. He's going to be out for a long bit. We had him for a second. I was thinking about dropping him. We kept him on the team. It was like, oh, well, maybe we should start him today. Nah, let's not take the chance. And he goes for a home run and nine points. It was like, well, so we won the matchup, by the way, but that was one of those like, damn, could have started that guy. Kyle Stowers also a hamstring injury, although he's going to come back, I believe, probably sooner than Conine, at least the way it seems. Jackson Chourio from Milwaukee, out still with his hand injury. Christian Yelich, though, and Kyle Harrison. Yelich appears to be out for some time. I think that's going to be a stint on the IL. I'm not sure how long, but does not look good. Kyle Harrison had some weird stuff, his knee and his wrist, but appears to be okay, so I don't think he'll be on the IL, but we will see. Royce Lewis, a knee injury, which they talked about scheduled tweets in the group chat. I thought that was pretty funny and also just very true. So anyway, that's that's to be expected with Royce Lewis. Anyway, for the Mets, Juan Soto, a calf injury. I don't know if you saw that photo on Twitter. I don't think it was real, but calf is just like all bruised up. So. It's ironic. Like, you would think that these athletes can run the bases and not get hurt, but that's what happens sometimes. So Soto's out for a little bit. For the Pods, Nick Pivetta left today, our dog, with elbow stiffness, not ideal. Estrada also dealing with elbow, and then Joe Musgrove, a setback for him. Kind of insider information is that, Musgrove is not doing well. It's just, it might be a long time till he gets back. That he's actually regressed, that there's a chance that he may not pitch till the second half of this season, if at all. They're trying to, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at him and see what happens. But not an ideal situation right now if you're a Padres fan, and also if you're a current Joe Musgrove owner like we are. So we're praying for him, metaphorically, and we will see what happens with him. Anyway, for Tampa Bay, Joe Boyle, who was doing amazing to start the year, now out with a little bit of an elbow thing. Not super long, but elbows are always scary. You never like to hear that your pitcher has an elbow injury. Toronto, with George Springer breaking his toe, so he's going to be out for a little bit. Addison Barger already out with an ankle injury. And then, as we saw, Cody Ponce go down, ACL tear. He gets surgery. He's out for the season. The Bahds are hurting right now. Our pitchers, we're hurting. It's tough sledding, and we'll get to that a little bit. But speaking of Bahds, Harlan Susanna getting surgery for a right lat tear. Kind of a weird injury, but anyway, that's been your injury update around the league. And finally, some Padres thoughts. As I was mentioning earlier, as we're looking at the record, it goes Dodgers at 11-4. Braves, Pods at 10-6. So the Padres are tied for the second best record in the league. Doesn't really feel real. Excuse me. The Pods have won 8 of their last 9 games. Doesn't make any sense. Like, don't get me wrong. It makes sense when you think that they played the Colorado Rockies, but this team has been awful. They have not shown up like to start the year offensively, and they're rolling out Walker Buehler and German Marquez. I don't understand how this team is winning games, but they're doing it, and especially in the last 10. They play Boston, and Boston's awful, but I don't know. We'll see. I like Randy Vasquez. I like what he's doing. We're going to ride the hot hand. The Pods, offensively, guys are starting to get going. I think that's kind of been the key is Laureano, Tatis, Merrill, Machado. They're starting to hit. So it's like, all right, the wheels are turning. We're seeing some things. I was at the game on Friday night where they won on a walk-off. We saw Xander Bogaerts with the walk-off grand slam. We saw Gavin Sheets, the walk-off 3-run home run, which was electric. So we're seeing some early season magic right now. I mean, Fernando Tatis starting at second base, and somehow it's working. I mean, he's been getting hits. So I don't know what's in the water in San Diego right now, but I'm not going to question it. If the Pods are winning, that's all I really care about at this point. And I think, I like the external pieces, kind of as we're talking about, the Andújars, the Nick Castellanos, kind of these bottom of the order guys who, the Ty Francis of the world, who aren't going to be stars. They're going to be platoon guys, but hey, if they're hitting, like, that's great. Like, I'm not gonna complain at all. That's because that's what we need right now. We need guys who are going to get on base. I mean, the fact that Luis Campusano is hitting for power right now is just wild. So maybe this could be a team. I don't know. I'm excited. So we will see. Anyway, Pod's thoughts. Yeah, I guess I'm stoked that Mason Miller is an absolute dog. I'm a little worried pitching wise about Joe Musgrove. Estrada also losing Velo. We'll see what happens there. But overall, I mean, the fact that this team has won some games here against, teams that they usually lose to, like the Rockies always at least grab a couple against the Pods for some reason. It's nice. I like to see the team win. There's a lot of excitement around the squad. I'm just wondering, how long is Buehler going to last? How long is Marquez going to last? Griffin Canning made his second rehab start this weekend, so maybe we'll see them sooner rather than later. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hopeless romantic, but anyway, we will see. All right, that's been our MLB update. Let's now get into the Winterfell League update without further ado. The Week 3 recap. The Bahds with the second win of the season, 335.5 to 262 over Noah. Nick pulling out the win on Sunday, 333 to 299.5 against Tommy. Tyler, the top scoring team of the week, 394 to 330 over T-Flow. Zane with a 100-point victory, 354 to 249 over Travis. Newman, a close win over Joey, who was leading for majority of the week, actually. 307 to 292, and then Bouchard with a 50-point win over Nate, 355.5 to 304.5. So, with that, we have 3 3-0 squads. We have a couple of 2-1 squads, a lot of 1-2 teams, and then a couple of 0-3 teams. So, with that, let's get into the power rankings, everybody. No surprise, at number 12 is Yield Joseph Biederman, number 12. So, take a look at Joey's squad. Again, it's no surprise that an 0-3 team like his is the last in the league. He's scored the least amount of points, so it's no shock. I mean, he literally named his team the league's get right game, which I don't blame him for naming his team that. A lot of his guys have just, again, a lot of his guys are good players, but they just started the year cold. Vinny Pasquantino right now, 13 points, averaging .81 a game. Mydroth, not ideal. Matt Shaw, not ideal. He's had some guys go off, though. Alec Burleson averaging over 3, Zach Neto averaging over 3, James Wood starting to heat up lately. But he's had a lot of guys. Kerry Carpenter, Rafael, Julio Rodriguez averaging 1.03. Just an awful start to the season for him. And he's also employing Jordy Beck, who has .68 per game this year. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. And then, some of his pitchers have been looking really good, actually, which I've been impressed by. Excuse me. Chase Burns has been solid. Taj Bradley, big trade there, which I guess we can talk about right now. But yeah, we've seen a couple of trades go down this week, or I guess to start the year, if you will. We saw the Mike Burrows, Xavier Edwards trade, which was, you know, pretty solid for Travis because he got rid of Mike Burrows and got Xavier Edwards. So shout out to him. But we saw a trade this week, an in-season trade. Jeremy Pena going from Joey to Alec, and Joey getting Taj Bradley, Cole Young, and Hector Rodriguez, which I actually really like for Joey, to be honest. Talking with Nick, he said he liked Alec's side better just because it's the better player, right? Like Jeremy Pena is the best player he believes out of all of those players. So I like Taj Bradley. Is he legit? I don't know, but he's been pretty damn good thus far. Cole Young, as I mentioned, Joey should have got already. Like Cole Young this year, he's been a solid player, batting .259, averaging 2.2 per game. I think he'll take that, especially considering his age, considering his pedigree. I mean, this is a young player. So I mean, he's 22. Like you'll take that any day of the year in Dynasty right now. So pretty even trade. I liked it, and it gives me some hope when it comes to Joey's team. I mean, Joey competed with Mark this week, so that's saying something. His pitching is looking solid. I mean, Aaron Ashby 46 points, Joey Cantillo 43. Detmers had a tough week this week, but Mitch Keller has been solid. Emerson Hancock, Michael McGreevy, Paul Skeens has bounced back. I mean, Andrew Abbott looked like crap, but that's a good starting rotation. Like there are some guys. I mean, yeah, Shane Smith, not ideal, but for Joey to get rid of some of the guys he has gotten rid of is good. But I think he needs to step it up when it comes to his hitters. We can ditch a guy like Jordy Beck. We don't need to try and get value for him. We can trade him away. Max Muncy, I like that pickup. And it's just going to take some time. Like, Julio's he's going to hit. It's just he's just starting slow right now. So not super ideal, but anyway. So yeah, Chase Mydroth, he'll come around. I mean, Vinny's not going to be bad forever, so we will see. But anyway, I digress. That's Joey at number 12. Number 11 is Noah, and I think him and Nate were. I mean, they're always battling for, the 11th spot, the second worst spot behind Joey. But I'm putting Noah on here not just because he lost to me, because he did compete valiantly. It's more that Royce Lewis is hurt again. Noah's also employing Josh Lowe, which I don't understand why we're doing that. He's also employing Nolan Arenado. No reason to do that. The guy's a bum. He is not good. And he's old. But he's got some good hitters. Gunnar Henderson went off this week. Bellinger, Riley Green, Ramon Laureano this weekend was a dog. Luis Robert, Chase DeLauder, fantastic player, right? But then in terms of his pitching staff, a couple guys hurt, but a lot of talent there as well. Carmen Majinski, again, didn't do well this week against me, but Sandy Alcantara has always been a solid guy. Anthony Kay, great pickup. Jesus Luzardo, he's always going to be a dog. Even Jansen Junk, like I like his stuff generally. I mean, the guy went 7 1/3 innings against Cincy, and only really blew up in the 8th. So I like what I see from him. Gregory Soto, great pickup. Wish we had gotten that. Guy is like holds city basically. So Noah's got some talent, but I think the unfortunate non-start of Sandy was tough to witness. I think that's the only thing really bumping you down and keeping Arenado and Josh Lowe. Once you get rid of those guys, I think you'll be okay. All right, and then number 10, none other than Nate. So, kind of looking at what Nate has that Noah doesn't have. He's got a lot of solid hitters. Top of the lineup, I think there's a lot of 30-point guys. I think we talked about this last time. Will Smith, Nolan Shonawell, Ozzie Albies, Bobby Witt Jr., Willie Abreu, Randy Rosarena, Teoscar Hernandez, Mickey Moniak. Mickey started going off this weekend. Dylan Dingler, Max Muncy, all really solid players right now. He doesn't have really a ton of bad hitters. I mean, Trevor Story is like starting to heat up. Like this week, he got 19 points, so I like what I saw from him, but he's still got some work to do. Tough starts for sure. Pitching wise, there are some relievers who, again, the Ian Seymours of the world shouldn't really be on here. And I know Nate has some guys that are hurt that have done him dirty. Christian Javier to the gulag. But I like his pickups. I mean, Nick Martinez has been solid. Aaron Savali had himself a 21-piece. We all probably should have gotten that. So there are some guys that are looking good in terms of his starters. Bryce Elder, Mackenzie Gore, Casey Mize. Landon Roop, who for some reason got an 18 this week, right? Having Brian King, I think, is a really good pickup for him. Alex Vesia is going to be solid, right? He got saved the other day. He's going to get strikeouts. Luke Weaver, I think, might be at the end of his rope. He had a -8. He had a -5 the other day. Not sure we can really keep him on, especially with all the other kind of better players out there. So, yes, once Nate is able to get his relief situation under, just kind of handled, then I think I'd be willing to bump him up the rankings, especially because his hitters have been pretty solid. I mean, as I said, he doesn't have a single hitter who either A, isn't doing solid right now, or B, has, he only, Trevor Story is averaging .93, but, most of his guys are averaging over 1 point a game, or have, a long track record. I think the only two guys, I'm sorry, I don't mean to strike what I kind of said from the record. Jake Berger, yeah, he has a bit of a track record, I guess. But him and Willie Castro, I think, can be let go. I think we can let go of those guys. I don't think they're meant to be playing this league. So, Nate, trim that fat. But otherwise, you got some good guys. Like Hai-Sung Kim, I think, will be fine, especially because he's going to get starts because of the injuries right now to Mookie Betts. But yeah, the rest. I mean, Willie can go, Jake Berger can go, but the rest of the team, again, you got plenty of names. Adolis Garcia, he will find himself. It's just a matter of time. So, shout out to you, Nate. You are number 10. All right, moving on to number 9 is Travis. So Travis, again, I like some of Travis's moves. He's gotten better. His offense is fantastic. I mean, Mauricio Dubon, we probably all should have got that. The guy's been a dynamo. I mean, literally every game he has a double. Extra base hit, machine, batting .351. That was a great pickup for him. Going down the list. Ben Rice, Murakami, Torres, Machado, Xavier Edwards. A great pickup for him. Spencer Steer, who we obviously don't like, but he hit a homer the other day. Okay, solid. He cased too much for me. I don't know. It's hard to let him go, but it was kind of a necessary evil for our team. Tyler Soderstrom finally going off a 16-piece the other day, but some injury concerns for him. The reason why Travis is this high is because of his pitching. Kate Savali, Max Fried, George Kirby, Sir Anthony Dominguez getting saves, Devin Williams, being solid, right? He hasn't allowed a run this season. Rhett Lauder, Clay Holmes, Max Meyer, David Bednar, who, as of late, it's been pretty shit. But before that, he was getting saves. So I think that there's a lot of potential here. Andrew Painter, obviously right now in minors, so he's not getting points. But once he does establish himself, that's a name to watch out for Travis. So, Travis, I like your squad. I think it's just we got to see some more consistency. Kodai Senga needs to be a guy. Brandon Pfaadt needs to be more. He needs to be more of a guy. Lance McCullers, we saw first start be amazing. Again, then is gone Burr. He's gone cold. So, and then we need to see Ronher Suarez pick it up. I mean, he had a 24-point performance on Saturday, but we need to see more consistency from him. Same with Tyler Miley as well. 16-piece the other day, but I need to see more of that. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll kind of see what happens here. But I like Travis' squad generally. I think he's in the mix for sure. All right, number 8 is Team Mark. I know Mark has been down in the power rankings for a while. He just got his first win, so shout out to him. But again, some of his players have just not turned the corner. I know they will. Like, this might be potentially the last time that he's this low, right? But this is what's happening right now. This is just the reality of the matter is that Mark, most of his guys, his hitters are just playing like garbage. He doesn't have a single hitter who is hitting. Sorry, I hate saying these things and then going back on him. He literally has one hitter that's hitting over 3 points per game, and that's Corbin Carroll at 3.5. But most of these guys are averaging like low 2s and then in the 1s. Salvi, Nick Kurtz, Jorge Polanco, Bo Bichette, Manzardo, Marte, Bregman, Yastrzemski, Junior Caminero. Like, they're all averaging under 2, and that's not what you want from guys that are so good normally, right? The fact, Marcell Ozuna literally has -1 points this season. It's like, what do you do with that? Like, you can't drop him because he could go off, but same token, you got to ask yourself, like, what are we doing here? Kyle Manzardo, again, whenever I look at him, I think we need to move on from him. Trade him to Joey or something. Something could happen here, right? Like, I don't think we need to be holding on to him. Yastrzemski has not been ideal. I know he has outfield eligibility, but I don't see why we need to keep him. Jake McCarthy, he's not even an everyday starter. What are we doing, Mark? I get that he's young, but I don't know. That's a tough keep for me, and I think that's why I have Mark at 8 right now, because he's got some good pitching. Shota Imanaga, Seth Lugo, Jeffrey Springs coming out of nowhere to be a beast. I like them, and he's got 4 solid closers. Brian Baker, the candlestick maker, he's been a dog. I'm joking, but yeah, Roldis Chapman, Andres Munoz, and Dennis Santana. Like, those are all solid players. Woodruff's a beast. Joe Ryan's been good, and then the Bibies of the world, unfortunately, for Mark. But he's got some mid starters. Jack Flaherty, Jacob Lopez has not looked super ideal. So we'll see. And we'll also see if McClanahan kind of steps it up. He's only pitched, 4 and 4 2/3 innings. So we will see if he becomes a guy. But yeah, Mark, number 8 in the fantasy rankings. Number 7 is Tommy. And so I know this might ruffle some feathers. I know some people are going to say, how the hell can Tommy be number 7 if he hasn't even won a game? And it's the same reason why, like, Alabama's always ranked even if they lose. It's the fact that he's got a good team, and he's played really good teams as well, and lost, unfortunately for him. Played us, just played Nick. He's run through an absolute buzzsaw to start the year. He literally has the most points against, 1,009. That's over 100 more than the second guy, which is Noah. So, Tommy is ranked 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in points for. So, that's solid. I just think he's had some bad luck. So I think he should be higher. I think he should be where he's at right now. And you look at his roster, and he's got guys who've been hot. I mean, Matt Olson, dog. Michael Garcia, dog. Nico Horner, one of the top players in fantasy this year. 57 points at second base. Brian Reynolds been hot. Jordan Walker, an incredible pickup that we all should have gotten. Mike Trout's been good. TJ Rumfield's been solid. Xander Bogaerts, ironic cleanup, has been solid. Obviously, Mookie's hurt, but with some of his pitchers, I mean, his reserve pitcher right now, like the reserve pitching list is incredible. Dylan Cease, Kevin Gausman, Robbie Ray, Eduardo Rodriguez, Tomoyuki Sugano, all guys that are averaging double digits. Davis Martin's been solid. Mikey Soroka has also been solid. Zach Allen, again, had a fine outing. Luis Castillo did not do great. Mike Burrows has had a tough go this season for sure. But yeah, Raisel Iglesias is always going to be good. Robert Suarez is going to get Ks. He's always going to be, ownable. Jojo Romero is fine. Trevor McGill, kind of sus, but he was getting saves, so he was a nuisance. But yeah, I think that Tommy has a lot of guys, and especially his hitters, have really come to life. He's got Grant Taylor, who once the White Sox finally figure out what to do with him, then he might be something. I'm not really sure. But, yeah, Tommy, I think, based on his points for and some bad luck, I think deserves number 7. So, number 6 is Tristan T-Flow. It's always funny saying his name because I'm expecting him to be bad. But he's actually been pretty solid. Unfortunately for him, Adley Rutschman gets hurt, so he's going with the no-catcher strategy, which might work because he's got some pretty darn good hitters. Carlos Correa, solid. Otto Lopez, solid. Luis Arraez, Evan Carter, Sal Frelick, Jackson Merrill, Jesus Sanchez, Josh Bell. That was a good get by him. He's got Juan Soto as well hurt. So once he gets healthy, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, right? And then pitching-wise, a lot of guys who, if it was in the occasion, Chad Patrick, Nolan McLean, Michael King, Joe Boyle, at least before he got hurt, was looking pretty good. And then he's got a collection of relievers. I mean, Cam Schlittler, as we talk about, Drew Rasmussen, Yuri Perez, Logan Gilbert. And then he's got the collection of 3 closers in Yohan Duran, Emilio Pagan, and Cade Smith. Tyler Alexander was kind of a thing, but he's not like the guy. Like that's more so Jacob Junis. But he's a fine reliever. But yeah, three legit closers is exactly what you want if you're T-Flow. So he's got youth, he's got experience, but unfortunately right now a lot of his guys are hurt. Bobby Miller's hurt, Imai's hurt, Joe Boyle's hurt. It's like, what do? Do you just hold these guys? I don't know. Tough place to be if you're T-Flow, but I think his hitters have been really very solid. Not counting Josh Naylor, who's been abysmal, or Luis Angel Acuna, who's kind of mid. Rafi Devers has been kind of mid, but he's had some guys really kind of carry his team. So we will see. But yeah, T-Flow, solid team. Oh yeah, for the record, also, I mean, why are we rostering Isaac Collins? I don't think we need to be doing this. There's much better guys on waivers. So T-Flow, do yourself a favor and pick up a waiver claim for a hitter. Like you have room. Let's see you use it here. Number 5 is Team Tyler, which should come as no surprise to anyone given the fact that number 1, he's 2-1, but also he went off this week, absolutely off. Top performer of the week, so shout out to him. We've talked already about his pitching. We've talked about Jose Soriano being the number 1 fantasy player in the league right now. 112 points for him. 112. But he's got plenty of good arms too. I mean, Ryan Nelson, Christopher Sanchez, all dogs. Riley O'Brien's getting saves. He has 54 points. He's been really good. Shawnee Burke, solid. Parker Messick, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Like, these are all guys that are really, really solid players. Ryan Walker, that's a tough one to keep. He's got to keep, though, because he's like the only closer for San Francisco. But I don't know what they're doing. And they also haven't been in a ton of save situations, so that's part of it. But, yeah, Graham Ashcraft, fine. Kyle Finnegan, I wouldn't keep him because, Kenley Jansen is the closer, so I don't understand. I mean, having a setup guy, I don't know. But yeah, Parker Messick is, guy from the minors, like, really solid. He's had some pitchers also be bad, like Brady Singer, not ideal. Luis Severino has been kind of mid. Brian Bayo, starting on the year off on -10. Chris Bassett's been awful. -23 for him. So Tyler will, once his guys, kind of start turning around, I think he's got a lot of solid players. But anyway, he's number 5. Number 4 is the Bahds. So again, another win for the Bahds this week. Early on, we were leading the league in terms of hits. Our hitters are just absolutely dominating. I mean, they've always been the bread and butter for the team, and they continue to do so. Drake Baldwin, he's always been a Bahd, number 1 catcher. Freddie Freeman's looked good. He hardly ever gets negative. A couple home runs for him, doubles, RBIs, that sort of thing. Ernie Clement, Willie Adames has been hot lately. Geraldo Perdomo, Christian Walker, hot start. Jonathan India, who we picked up this week. Dalen Lyle's been good. Marcy's been okay. Andy Pajes has been a dog. Contreras is good. Schwarber's good. Chandler Simpson, another guy. Diamond in the rough, right? They've all been solid. Pitching-wise, we're just getting boned with these injuries. I mean, Matt Boyd going to the IL. Cody Ponce, who we thought might have been a guy, he's on the IL now. Going to be gone for the year. Nick Pivetta, who has had great starts, last 3 starts, and now he's potentially going to the IL and hurt. Aaron Nola, back in his winning ways, for sure. Looks solid. Noah Cameron's been solid. Michael Wacha, one of the best pitchers in the league right now. A 31 piece this week. Amazing. Grant Holmes been good. But yeah, we saw this week. I mean, and then, Steven Matz has been a total revelation for us. 18 points against the Yankees, no less. But we have some solid, Paul Sewald got a save. Thank God. Jordan Romano, he got a save, last Monday, which was sick. But he hasn't really pitched for, some reason. So, but right now, I mean, we've had some guys play poorly. We've had Max Scherzer get absolutely blown to pieces the other day, a -19 after going for -4. Then Eric Lauer, same shit. The Jays just playing like garbage. A -10 after going for -9. So something's got to give from those guys. Guys are going to get negative. It happens. I mean, David Peterson, -2 after once again, getting shelled. So not super stoked about him either, but something's got to give. So we will see. We picked up Javier Assad. The guy went for 22 last week. So I'm stoked to see what he can bring to the table. Noah Cameron's always been solid. So we're going to see a lot of housekeeping this week. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to tip my cap. That's all we're going to say. But yeah, I mean, we're number 2 in the league in points. So you best believe we're going to be number 4 right now. Excuse me. All right, so number 3 is ye old Nick. No surprise here. I mean, Nick is one of 3 teams at 3-0. Offensively, Bryce Terang has been an absolute dog. Brandon Nimmo has been really solid. Shohei, he's always going to be Shohei. Christian Yelich, always good. Dalton Varsho, great pickup for him, by the way, on that trade. With Zane, Sal Stewart has been a revelation. One of the best rookies in this class, which is already super talented. Yonder Diaz, averaging almost 4 a game. Unbelievable. And, he doesn't have a single, really, again, aside from TJ Friedel, who at 30 years old, maybe we should consider dumping, but he needs to fill in with someone with the outfield, and that's the issue. Is that Nick's team, he's got 3 utility guys. He's just waiting for Ivan Herrera to be a catcher, and it's just, I would be frustrated too. It's frustrating for him. You have to start TJ Friedel, but yeah, something to think about for Nick's team. In terms of pitching, in terms of his run prevention, always going to be good. Framber's, and he had a bad start this week, but he's been solid. Randy Vasquez, that was a great get. Shohei's been good. Reynaldo Lopez been good. Kyle Harrison, another good pickup. Injury scare, but I think he'll be okay. Logan Webb, again, safe for a couple of these starts, has been fine. Chrissy Bubich, another guy got a 34-piece, like insane. The guy's going to get Ks, always a K guy. I think I'm a little bit more worried about Nathan Eovaldi or Adrian Hauser or Emmett Sheehan, Jameson Taillon, who somehow escaped. I mean, he had 10 Ks, but allowing 6 earned, 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 homers, and 6 innings pitched. I mean, the fact that he escaped with a 7 is wild. So, and then he's got Jeff Hoffman, Pete Fairbanks. They're always going to be solid. We'll see when Shane Bieber comes back, but I think Nick is the number 3 of the 3-0 teams, which is still good. But I just think that his pitching wise, like, not nearly as deep as the top 2. So that said, number 2 is Team Zane. Should not come as any surprise to anybody. Zane offensively has some guys that are slow starters. For sure. He also has Addison Barger, who's hurt. But he's got some guys who've been fantastic, like Kevin McGonigal has been huge, Taylor Ward, Jonathan Aranda, Ellie De La Cruz. Miguel Vargas has been solid. Francisco Alvarez has been a solid catcher. But, yeah, like rostering a guy like Spencer Horwitz, again, I've told us since day one, I don't like that guy. Heliot Ramos, he's fine. He'll come around. I see the vision with him. Cedric Mullins, maybe. That one still feels weird to me. But I think really Zane's bread and butter is his pitching. Always. Always has been, always will be. Like, almost every one of his starters is averaging in double digits. I don't know how the hell he did it, but he's just a dog. I mean, every single one of his pitchers are dogs. Cabrera, Crochet, Early, Rogers, Ashcraft. I mean, he hit on Ashcraft. Ashcraft last year, averaging 5.8. This year, it's 15.3. Insane. DeGrom, Gray, Peralta, Wu. Insanely talented. Then he's got multiple guys who are going to get saves. Diaz, Urseg, Helsley, even maybe Cole Sands. But he's gotten 2 relief pitchers who should not be on his team. Griffin Jack should not be on your team. Jeremiah Estrada, kick him to the curb. He does not need to be playing. I don't know what we're doing here. But yeah, otherwise, Zane, I think you got the best pitching staff in the league. I don't think that's even a question. But the number 1 team, though, far and away, is our guy, Alec Bouchard. Hitting wise, up and down. I mean, yeah, it has Brent Rooker on IL and George Springer now on the IL, but I mean, he's got dogs up and down the lineup. Vlad, Brandon Lau. Brady House has been fine. Aaron Judge is going to be a solid player as always. Cam Smith, though, he's been hot. Jordan, always been good. Shea Langoliers, who's cooled off lately, but still a good player. Guy's number 1 for the reason, he's got some of the top scoring players in the league. Mason Miller, one of the best closers in the league. Chris Sale, Tarek Skubal, Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, who had a good week this week, 17 points. Jacob Junis, who now is apparently a guy who's getting 3 saves in a row. Like, what the hell? Danny Palencia, same thing. Cole Winn, a potential backup in Texas. Kalen Jansen, who's been fine. It's been anything special, but Tyler Glass now, Jacob Mizorowski, Bailey Ober, Gavin Williams, all dogs. And yeah, Hunter Brown, who unfortunately is hurt for him, or fortunately for the rest of us, but excuse me. Team Bouchard, number one for a reason, and he's got the most points in the league. So unless someone can knock him off the throne, he's going to stay here until further notice. So that's been the wonderful power rankings. To wrap it up, Bouchard, Zane, Nick, Bahds, Tyler, T-Flow, Tommy, Mark, Travis, Nate, Noah, and Joey. So there you go. All right, finally, let's get into some. Well, I want to show you this meme real quick. I thought this was pretty funny. I made this, by the way. Our dog, Chandler Simpson, who's been incredible this year. It's funny, like, you look at his baseball savant, almost like the exact same numbers as Luis Arraez in terms of, like, chase percentage, K percentage, all that, and walk percentage. They both never walk, right? But he actually, Arraez has a better chase percentage. He never chases. The chase percentage is a lot better than Simpson's. But I love Simpson. And everybody else loves him because Simpson's actually fast. He's a high contact guy who is going to make you make plays because of his speed. And Arraez just isn't that. Arraez is like a Tony Gwynn-esque guy, but like Tony Gwynn when Tony Gwynn was like 34. Not taking anything away from Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn was incredible, but just wasn't a fast speedster like he used to be. So, anyway, just wanted to show that. I thought that was funny. Excuse me. But yeah, as we wrap things up here on the pod, want to talk about some waiver claims. I just want to shout out our folks for these waiver claims this week. Joshi Bell, shout out to T-Flow for getting him. Shawnee Burke, Tomoyuki Sugano, Jacob Junis, Cole Winn, Anthony K, Aaron Savali. In terms of our, major league guys, Carlos Cortez also a nice pickup. Angel Martinez, solid pickup. I think he might be a guy. Troy Johnson by Nick. He was a guy that I was kind of scoping out. Minors eligibility. The last couple games he hasn't been good, but I was going to, kind of stash him and see. A couple of minor league pickups. I just want to shout out Blakey Burke, guy who literally I think hit 4 home runs in 5 at bats, something like that. He's like been hitting the cover off the ball. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I'm guessing it's Tate Salazine. He's like one of the best Braves prospects right now. I was eyeing him as well. He got, I believe, by T-Flow, so shout out to him. And then Kendall George, a guy that used to be a bot. Dodgers prospect who is super speedy. I like that pick. And then I added Brandon Bedois and Braden Fisher for Team Joey because this is not a claim, but it's a addition by subtraction because they are terrible, taking up his roster. So shout out to you, Joey, for cleaning your roster. I like that. So anyway. Also, we do have a statement, by the way, from League Commissioner Nick Beach. Let me just read it to you folks out here. He says, quote, "Drop your bums. If you have 10 guys hurt, get rid of the bad ones. Roster flexibility is key." So just want to say that. And I agree with him. Roster flexibility is very key. So drop your bums. We don't need to be having bums anymore. All right, and then finally, most of you will see this after the waiver wire is over, but my Monday morning waiver claims are these 10 and I guess 11 guys. Jorge Soler, Jack Kahanowitz, Herman Marquez, Antonio Senzatella, Walker Buehler, Edward Julian, Curtis Mead, Rico Garcia, or Anthony Nunez, Kider Montero, and Jacob Young. So I want to apologize firstly to Noah if you're watching out there. I was wrong about Edward Julian. I was wrong, and I apologize. Because Edward Julian now has turned into a dog for some reason. He's played amazing. I guess going down the list, Soler is hitting homers right now. I don't know how long it's going to last before he starts K'ing 3 times a game. But in the meantime, he's hitting dingers. And, hey, if you're at the bottom of the league, you want to take a shot, take a swing with him. I think it's a good call. Kahanowitz, young guy, 25. I've texted Joey about this guy personally. I think he needs to get God. We will see. Marquez, I think it's a fine. Pod's got a favorable matchup this week. We'll see. Senzatella has been unhittable. He's had a ton of Ks, ton of big performances, like multiple innings, no earned runs. I'd roll the dice with him if I was someone. Excuse me. Walker Buehler, meanwhile, he had a good start against Colorado. Is that going to carry over? I don't know, but I'd be willing to try. I'd be willing to take a risk. Julian, as I mentioned, has started to get hot for Colorado. Playing in Colorado always is important for getting those extra base knocks. So, hey, he's young. Was it first and second base eligibility? It's not bad. I feel like everyone needs that. Curtis Mead, first and third eligibility. He's been hot lately. New team, new environment. I like that. Maybe he's on your team. We'll see. Rico Garcia and Anthony Nunez, I put them back to back. These are guys who both play for the Baltimore Orioles, who have been kind of eighth inning setup guys. Garcia older, Nunez with minor league eligibility. Maybe it's a good stash. That's my whole view on it. Montero, he's gotten the call due to injury. He's going to get some starts. I like him. He had a great game the other day. And Jacob Young, 26, outfielder. He's been solid this year. Been getting hits. I think that's good. I think that's what we need. I think that's what this league needs is really taking a chance on those youth bats. So, Joe, if you're watching out there, make sure to do that. I leave you with this meme to end the podcast. But that has been another edition of the Fantasy Baseball Dynasty Bahdscast. I've been your host, Keith Demolder. This is the 13th edition, lucky number 13. Appreciate you watching, and another big matchup this week as the Bahds take on Team Nate. So we will see. We got some starters coming. We got some claims brewing. We will see. Either way, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.